Hey guys, so here's my scene I've been working on. I've been primarily focusing on automotive lighting inside of Unreal and just trying to maximize the amount of control I have over what accent lights and the overall visual representation of a car inside of Unreal. One way you'll see industry standard ways. This isn't necessarily a standard way, but you'll find that bone lines are used to accentuate or lights will be used to accentuate the bone lines of cars. This is a really hot example, but it's just for better visualization for you guys. I can tweak it in real time. Now, Unreal has this issue where basically you have to use any light in Unreal. You can see here requires by the red color a texture map, and that's not a material map. See, materials are green, blueprints are blue. Of course, everything's color coded. You can't you can't put a material into there. But the thing about material instances, in this case, I've created a gradient map. This example is the instance of that gradient map, and what it lets me do is it lets me control a couple whatever factors I promoted to variables or parameters, I should say. Now I have like overall intensity, the edge intensity, which is just along the edge. I've created a transition one, which changes where in the line the transition sits in the fade, and this is the transition position. So, or I've called it that, and it's just where it falls off overall. Now I'll move it over here, and you can see what my tool does. It's updating as I'm tweaking parameters. And some of it's subtle, I'll do some crazy ones to make it more obvious. But it really let me suck up that bone line right up to it. Now, this is a pretty bright example. And the closer you get, obviously, it's gonna the reflections will change based on where your camera's at. But if it's close enough, once the light's close enough, you won't see that influence. Um, Now, the way I did this was essentially I tricked Unreal using the texture. I created a render target, and what you're gonna do is I took this isn't exactly a tutorial; it's more showing what I did. But here is my material graph. It's really simple. I just have all my parameters here that have been promoted, and I have it set as a post-process volume. Now, the reason I do that is because you want to create a blueprint class, which the blueprint class is going to contain a scene capture 2D and your light. Now, your light is going to be given your render target texture, which we have here, and the render target is actually being captured. Everything is contained within this blueprint. That way, you can grab your blueprint and throw it on the scene. You can see here. Now, when I move it around, oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah. You can see what it does is that the camera isn't a camera. That's actually my scene capture, just represented from the blueprint. But all my work here is contained within my blueprint. Now inside the blueprint, I have my camera, my scene capture, and I have a post-process volume that influences the camera. Now inside the camera, the scene capture camera, my post-process volume is flooding the entire view. There it is. There's my material. My post-process material has been given 100% influence over the camera. So the camera is literally seeing essentially this. And that way, nothing else in the blueprint will influence my camera's view. Now, we're in my construction script here. This is where the magic really happens. So we're starting off with my scene capture, and it's being influenced by my render capture component. My 2D scene capture here is the target, and what it sees essentially is being applied to the source texture. which my rectangle light's the new target, and the new value is my texture object reference. And we've promoted my attenuation radius to a variable. Now, inside the event graph, Unreal, if you weren't to do it this way, essentially what you would see is it would update once I make my change, and then it would stay that way until it's given a new tick. So I used a flip-flop, which updates on every event tick. And this is relatively cheap. I would say it's fairly cheap. Um, and all it's doing is regrabbing the attenuation radius that I've stored via my scene capture, and it's just flipping a variable off and on for my attenuation radius, and the target is my rectangle light. And that means every event tick is going to update it, and that way we get that real-time editability inside my scene. Now, why did I do this? Well, I mean, I could realistically just create a gradient texture and go with it, and just deal with the repercussions and have to recreate the gradient texture should I not like it. I just wanted to see, oh, how much more control could I, if I was in the event that I was working with a team, how much more control could I provide the artist that I would be working with, and how much more modularity and non-destructive, or how much more modularity could I give our project or future projects. Um, the main thing I like about Unreal is the non-destructive workflow. Now, this would allow another element to that being a light shape. Let's say I gave the scene to my artist, and he wanted to be able to just simply go into his instance here, say, oh, I've got these variables, I can tweak them, I can get the ideal image, final image that I want, and I can accept the results. Rather than, oh, I don't like the gradient you have, can you give me a new one? Because Unreal doesn't have a way for me to. There might be another way to do this too. You never know. I mean, this is just my solution. It's just one solution to a problem. Probably has a numerous amount of solutions. This is just one way I figured it out. This was a interesting process. I think I learned a little bit more about blueprints than I was expecting. I was hoping initially that I was like, oh, well, I'm so used to just material instancing everything, and coming to find out that Unreal didn't have a way to constantly update my light shapes. I was like, well, there must be an easier way to do this. This is just one solution to a problem. You guys may have a different way of doing it, and there might be a super simple solution to this that probably exists now that I didn't know about when I started it. But this isn't a tutorial. This is just showing you my process, how I did it, and the end result was just something modular and something I can tweak as I go, probably utilize for future projects. Yeah, hopefully this was informative.